Good morning, friends. I am Sandeep Nikam, Assistant Professor, Department of English, GMD Arts, BW Commerce and Science College, Sinnar, Nasik, Maharashtra. Today, I am going to deal with the poem called Goodbye Party for Miss Pushpa T.S. Friends, it's a great pleasure that I have got an opportunity to deliver a lecture through SANDHAN. Students, the poem Goodbye Party for Miss Pushpa T.S. is by Nissim Ezekiel. As we know that Nissim Ezekiel, being a Jewish, was born and brought up in Mumbai and lived many years in India. So he has observed Indian life very closely and keenly. And that is why we usually find his most of the poems are based on Indian situations, the experiences of Indian life, themes are Indian, and number of things which we can say that those poems are in Indian in terms of themes, characters, settings, and many more things. So today I have taken the poem Goodbye Party for Miss Pushpa T.S. There are some books of Nissim Ezekiel's credit, and there are some famous poems of Nissim Ezekiel. Those are Night of the Scorpion, Edinburgh Interlude Lightly, The Railway Clerk, Goodbye Party for Miss Pushpa T.S., and so on and so forth. Before commenting or discussing about the poem, let us read out the poem loudly. I am reading the poem loudly. Friends, our dear sister is departing for foreign in 2-3 days, and we are meeting today to wish her a bon voyage. You all are knowing, friends, what sweetness is in Miss Pushpa. I don't mean only external sweetness, but internal sweetness. Miss Pushpa is smiling and smiling even for no reason, but simply because she is feeling. Miss Pushpa is coming from very high family. Her father was renowned advocate in Balsar or Surat. I am not remembering now which place. Surat, yes, once only I stayed in Surat with family members of my uncle's very old friend. His wife was cooking very nicely. That was a long time ago. Coming back to Miss Pushpa, she is most popular lady with men also and ladies also. Whenever I asked her to do anything, she was saying, just now only I'll do it. Just now only I'll do it. That is showing good spirit, and I am always appreciating the good spirit. Pushpa Miss is never saying no. Whatever I or anybody is asking, she is always saying yes. And today she is going to improve her prospects. And we are wishing her bon voyage. Now I ask other speaker to speak, and afterwards Miss Pushpa will wind up or will do summing up. Friends, I have read the poem. As from the title of the poem, and after reading of the poem, you must have realized that the poem depicts a very common incident of Indian life. That when a person goes to a foreign country, foreign place, usually there is a kind of gathering. We give send-off or farewell to the people who goes to foreign. Now let us read out, let us listen the audio of the poem here.
Friends, Our dear sister is departing for foreign in 2-3 days, and we are meeting today to wish her bon voyage. You are all knowing, friends, what sweetness is in Miss Pushpa. I don't mean only external sweetness, but internal sweetness. Miss Pushpa is smiling and smiling, even for no reason, but simply because she is feeling. Miss Pushpa is coming from very high family. Her father was renowned advocate in Balsar or Surat. I am not remembering now which place. Surat? Ah, yes. Once only I stayed in Surat with family members of my uncle's very old friend. His wife was cooking nicely. That was long time ago. Coming back to Miss Pushpa, she is most popular lady with men also and ladies also. Whenever I asked her to do anything, she was saying, just now only I will do it. That is showing good spirit. I am always appreciating the good spirit. Pushpa Miss is never saying no. Whatever I or anybody is asking, she is always saying yes. And today, she is going to improve her prospect and we are wishing her bon voyage. Now I ask other speakers to speak and afterwards, Miss Pushpa will do summing up.
Friends, let's look at the first stanza of the poem. Friends, our dear sister is departing for foreign in 2-3 days, and we are meeting today to wish her bon voyage. Look at the beginning of the poem. The beginning of the poem is as if someone is addressing to the audience, someone is giving speech. Friends, our dear sister is departing. The beginning of the poem is like that someone is giving speech. Please note the phrase bon voyage. The phrase bon voyage is from French language, which means happy journey. So here it is assumed that, it is imagined that the people are gathered over there for giving a send-off, giving a farewell to Miss Pushpa. When you move to the second stanza, that you all are knowing, friends, what sweetness is in Miss Pushpa. I don't mean external sweetness, but internal sweetness. Miss Pushpa is smiling and smiling even for no reason, but simply because she is feeling. Second stanza talks about her character, her behavior, how good nature the Pushpa is, and she always used to smile. So she is having a charming kind of nature. She is having a happy kind of girl who always helps, of most of her friends and colleagues and all that. In third stanza, Miss Pushpa is coming, the speaker of the poem. The speaker of the poem comes to the third stanza when he says, Miss Pushpa is coming from very high family. Her father was renowned advocate in Balsar or Surat. I am not remembering now which place. Surat, yes. Once only I stayed in Surat with family members of my uncle's very old friend. His wife was cooking very nicely. That was long time ago. Look at the third stanza where the speaker says Miss Pushpa is coming from very high family. Look at the words like coming, asking, I'm remembering. Those are the words which shows that the poet has used present continuous tense. The present continuous tense to show the Indian habit of using present continuous tense instead of simple present tense. Speaker is talking about Miss Pushpa, and when he is talking about Miss Pushpa, he suddenly diverts. He suddenly diverts to and he starts telling about a place in Gujarat. He suddenly starts speaking about Surat. Once he was in Surat, once he stayed in Surat in one of his family members' old friend. And remember, look at the line, his wife was cooking nicely. He is telling information of long back years using same continuous tense, in even if it is a past tense, but he used continuous tense. So here this line of the poem also suggests the use of present continuous tense, which is very common habit of most of the Indians speaker of English. So when you go to the next stanza, coming back to I said there is a diversion. He was talking about Miss Pushpa and suddenly he goes to Surat or other place. So diversion is also again another feature of Indians. Usually we go on diverting. So that is a crucial point over here. Then next stanza, coming back to the next stanza, where poet says Pushpa Miss is never saying no. Whatever I or anybody is asking, she is always saying yes, and today she is going to improve her prospects, and we are wishing her bon voyage. And now I ask other speaker to speak, and afterwards Miss Pushpa will do summing up. Pushpa, the earlier stanza also talks about the character of Miss Pushpa. The same stanza continues her praise. The speaker of the poem, who began the poem in the first stanza, says that Miss Pushpa is very cooperative girl. She helps others. She goes on smiling all the time, and she never say no to anybody else. She never say no to anybody else because she has got very helping kind of nature. She goes on helping people. She goes on helping her colleagues, subordinates, her boss, and all that about. So look at the stanza. Miss Pushpa says, Miss Pushpa is never saying no. Whatever I or anybody is asking, she is always saying yes, and today she is going to improve her prospect. Look at the point, friends. This is not today's 2014's matter when the person is going to a foreign place. This is the incident where Nissim Ezekiel used to write poetry. This was the incident when the Nissim Ezekiel used to write poetry. At that time, it was very big thing when a person goes to a foreign place. And that is why a kind of farewell party, a function was arranged for Miss Pushpa. And remember, another very crucial important part is that use of a phrase from French language, that is bon voyage. Bon voyage means saying happy journey to a person who is going to depart. At the end part of this stanza and the poem, now I ask other speakers to speak, and afterwards Miss Pushpa will do summing up. Look at the last part of this stanza of the poem. Remember, this speaker is not the only person who is talking on Pushpa, but there are more people, there are others are also going to talk on Miss Pushpa. This is very rare thing. Usually people avoid talking in the farewell or seminar, farewells or send-off parties. They don't want to talk about the person who is departing. But here there are more people who want to talk about Miss Pushpa. It means that Miss Pushpa has really a good kind of nature. She is a good girl who is always helping most of the people. So now I ask other speakers to speak, and afterwards Miss Pushpa will do summing up. So look at this point when you will find most of the features in English and most of the features in Indian context. Friends, as far as the poem Goodbye Party for Miss Pushpa T.S. is concerned, there are very crucial issues that the poem touches upon. First, a depiction of Indian life and situation. Nissim Ezekiel talks about, Indian life and situations. For instance, is another poem, the railway clerk talks about the same thing or depicts the Indian life. For instance, when the railway clerk says, it isn't my fault, I do what I am told, but still I am blamed. This year, my leave application was twice refused. The crucial point comes when he says, my wife is asking for more money, where to get money. So, the depiction of Indian life. Then we have characters and settings of the poems which are purely Indian. For instance, another poem, Edinburgh Interlude Lightly, where Nissim Ezekiel talks about a very Indian family drama. Very Indian family drama or very Indian situation where a newly bride, when a newly married girl comes to the next family, to her husband's family, what happens is, mother-in-law, shows that she is very kind. Look at the line, don't worry dear, I need no help in the kitchen, leave it to me please. Look at the situation. The situation is when a married woman comes to her new family. When a married woman comes to her new family, she says, don't worry dear, I need no help in the kitchen, leave it to me please. But then she complains to her son and her husband. At one point, she says, I don't want your help. The other point, she complains. She complains to her own husband and to her son, that is the husband of that newly married girl. She says that the girl doesn't help me. Look at these lines. That the girl doesn't help me in the kitchen. That is what she complains to her husband and the son. And remember, when the case goes to the father-in-law, the husband of mother-in-law, what he says, look at the lines. You must try to understand your mother-in-law, she is very kind woman. There aren't many who do all the work in the kitchen. The highest point comes when, her own husband says, if you quarrel with me, with my mother, you quarrel with me. So, look at the situation, how, mother-in-law, husband, father-in-law blackmails the very newly married woman. So this is also an Indian feature usually find in Nissim Ezekiel. Another important crucial issue is use of present continuous tense instead of simple present tense. There are some examples you can find. You are all knowing, the second stanza, you are all knowing that ing, that is continuous tense, is used. Instead of that, one should have used you all know. Then Pushpa is smiling and smiling. Miss Pushpa is coming from very high family. Coming from. Usually we say comes from. Then I am not remembering now which place. Remembering. We don't say remembering. We say remember. So continuous tense is used instead of simple present. Now the question is, thank you. Thank you.